Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This is Jay from Coding with Jaybird, where I upload weekly tutorials to help build your confidence in coding. Today we're going to talk about the box model. Let's get started, shall we? In order to fully understand the box model, let's have a quick review of inline and block level elements. Now, I've used these two p tags to demonstrate those, and you can see I have a styles.css, which I'm linking through my CSS folder right here. So in the styles.css, all I've done is given the body a font family of Arial just to change the text styling, and a margin of 0 to remove any default margins that the browser may have provided. Now I've targeted my ID of inline and block and applied some styling to them. Now inline is targeting this M tag that I have here with the text inline within it. I've given the inline ID a background color of light gray, and you can see it only takes up this much space. And that's because an inline element only takes up as much width as necessary, so as much width as its content. And it doesn't start on a new line, and it doesn't push any content after it onto a new line. Now, because this is a new paragraph tag, this is starting on a new line. And what I've done here is I've given it a background color of light gray to demonstrate that because it's a block level element, it's going to take up the full width that's available to this element. Now let's move on to the box model. So what I've done here is I have these three divs with IDs of 1, 2, and 3 respectively, and the text box 1, 2, and 3 within them. And you can see these three boxes here in the browser on the right. So I'm going to use these three to demonstrate what the box model is and how it works. By default, the browser looks at every element on our web page as having a box around it. So each box is going to take up the width of its content. Now the content is really just the text and the images that appear in the box. So in our case, our first box has the text box 1 within it. So that's the content, and that's what we see here. So what I want to do is I want to demonstrate a few concepts such as padding, margin, and border. So what are they? Well, we already know that the content of the box is the text box 1. Now if I were to add a background color, let's say of light blue, we'd see that the div takes up the entire width of the web page, which is basically its container or its body tag's width. So aside from content, we have padding. Now what padding does is it clears or pushes out the area around the content. So if I were to add some padding to this box, we'd see that we'd have more light blue surface area around the word box 1. So let's add a padding of, let's say, 20 pixels. And we can see now we've increased this area around box 1. Now, if I were to comment out this background color, we'd see that there's no color around this. And that's because padding by default is transparent. So only when you have a background color applied to it can you see the padding in itself. Next, I want to talk about the border aspect of a box model. Now, the border wraps around the content and the padding of a particular element. So if I were to create a border here in box 1, it's going to wrap around all the blue that we see here in our browser. So I can write border in 3 separate lines where I can give it like style or color or sizing, or I can have a short form where I put all 3 in one line, which I'll do here. So I'll say 5 pixels, and I want the line to be solid and the color blue. And you can see we've created this border around box 1, which is the content, as well as the blue padding within it. Now, in order to better understand the box model, I'm going to give each one of these divs a height and width to make them look like a box. So I'll give this a width of 50 pixels as well as a height of 50 pixels. Now I want to take this styling and replicate this once again in box 2 and box 3. So I'm just going to copy this 2 more times. And then what I'll do is I'll actually change the styles to have slightly different colors so we can see the difference. So I'm just going to say box 2 and box 3. Maybe the second one will be light pink. And I'll give it a color for the border of red. And let's do light green for the last box. And we'll give it a border color of green. Oops, what have I done wrong? That's not what I expected. Let's ask my handy debugging duck Tim to see what's going on. So what have I done wrong? Everything looks good. I'm not missing any semicolons. I've written box 2 twice for the IDs. So I'm actually overriding these styles with these styles. So let's change this box 2 to box 3. And now that's what I expect it to look like, where we have a blue box, a red box, and a green box. Now you can see these boxes are stuck together. Now the way to create space between these boxes would be to add what's called margin. So let's go ahead and add margin to our first box of 60 pixels. Now what margin does is it clears the area outside the border, and margin is always transparent as well, similar to padding. So when I save it, we're going to see that we've pushed this blue box 60 pixels away from the left side of the web browser and 60 pixels from the top element, and then 60 pixels from the right, but the right has tons of space so we don't really see it, and 60 pixels away from the box below it. So the way I like to look at the box model is this. I like to think of myself or a person as the content itself. So let's say the text box 1 is a person. Now this person, box 1, is wearing a jacket. So let's say the outer shell of the jacket is this border that you see here. And the stuff inside of it, so this blue background color or the padding, is kind of like the padding or like the filling of the jacket. So let's say you're wearing a winter coat and it's full of down. That winter jacket would be full of the padding or the down. So the person is wrapped with some down padding. Then they have this border, which is a shell of the jacket, which can have some thickness or different styling based on the kind of jacket you're wearing. And now imagine this person is standing in line with other people. So these are the other two people, the red box and the green box. So when this person wants to push themselves away or create a space between them and the next person in line, so let's say they're social distancing and they just want some distance between them and the next person, they're going to add margin. So margin creates space between this person who's wearing this jacket with some padding, and it pushes them away from another person somewhere else on the web page. Let's have a look at this in the browser dev tools. So using my select tool, I can select the first box and I can see this area showing up with padding, border, and margin. So if I hover over the inside here where it says 50 by 50, that is the width and height of the box that I've set. So that's the content itself. And when I hover over the padding, you can see that it's highlighting the area around the content box 1 in the web browser. So that's like the filling of my jacket. And if I hover over the border, you can see that now it's highlighting the blue border around this padding and content. And now if I hover over margin, you're going to see all this extra space that I've created outside of my border, content, and padding. And what that's doing is it's pushing the other elements away. All right, so let's demonstrate a few more things in our second and third box. I'd like to give my second box a margin of 40 pixels. And now you can see it's pushed away from the left browser wall a little less than this one. And that's because this had a width of 60 and this had a width of only 40 pixels. And let's also add some margin to our third box. So I'll add an even smaller amount of, let's say, 20 pixels. And we can see it's even closer to our left wall of the browser. Now let's open up our dev tools to have a better look at this. So here, if I select my second box, we can see we have margin of 40. Now, the margin of 40 is taking up the entire distance between box 2 and 3 in here. And why is that? If I target the third box, we can see its margin is coming up as 20, and it's not taking up the full space between box 2 and 3. So why is it that box 2's margin is giving the entire space and creating this distance between them, but not box 3's margin? And that's because margins collapse, and the larger of the two margins is the dominant value and is a chosen distance between the elements. So box 2 has a margin of 40, so it dominates over the value of box 3's margin, which is 20, forcing this one's margin to collapse. So if you were to calculate the actual width of an element, like let's say box 1, you would be adding its width, its padding, and its border. So sometimes this makes this a bit tricky for a web designer because we think we're setting the width and height of a particular element, but by adding padding and border, we end up making this width a lot larger or its height a lot larger. And that's where something called box sizing comes into play. Now, box sizing is a CSS property, and it allows us to include the padding and border in an element's total width and height. So if I were to do that to my third box, so let's say I said box sizing property, and I gave it the value of border box. Let's see what it does. Oops, box. Okay, it made that box a lot smaller. And that's because the box sizing property is allowing us to include the padding and border in that particular element's total width and height. So now the total width of box 3 isn't 50 plus 20 plus 5, it's simply 50. And now this padding and this border all has to be squished within that width of 50. So let's have a look at this in the DevTools. And if I target the third box, we can see its content has 0 by 0. Okay, and that's because its content won't fit inside that box. There's the padding of 20, and there's the border of 5. So if you add the top border, which is 5, plus padding of 20, plus 0, plus another 20 plus 5, you get the total height of 50. And similarly, you get the total width, 5 plus 20 plus 0, plus 20 plus 5 of 50. And then the margin expands outside of this border box sizing. As you can see, applying the property box sizing with the value of border box on an element is fantastic because it allows us to take the padding and the border and include it in the width and height of a particular element, just making our design a lot easier to build. Alright guys, that's it for my video on the box model. I hope you've been enjoying this video so far. If you have, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button so I can reach more viewers and gain a larger audience. I've been trying to grow my channel and it's been doing really well so far, and I have you as the viewers to thank for that. So thank you very much. And until next week, keep on coding.